Namaste everyone. Welcome to the Hindus in STEM panel in celebration of National STEM Day. My name is Vishnupriya Parasaram. I'm from Oklahoma City and I serve as Hindu Students Council's VP of Education and Advocacy.
And namaste everyone, my name is Harsh Agarwal. I serve as the VP of Events for the National Hindu Students Council. So today we hope to provide students an opportunity to learn more about being in STEM and network with experts in the field. We have two excellent panelists, Shaoni Kar and Dr. Tushar Sharma, joining us.
Shaoni Kar graduated from Delhi University with the Bachelor of Science in Physics in 2018. She pursued a master's degree also in physics at the University of Cambridge. She then worked at internships at the Technical University of Munich in Germany and the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. She is currently a Marie Curie PhD scholar at Helio Display Materials in the University of Oxford, UK. Currently, she works on sustainable, affordable lighting technologies for developing nations.
Tushar Sharma is a staff radio frequency engineer at the Renaissance Electronics, San Diego, California, and a visiting professor at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, India. He received a PhD degree in electrical engineering from the University of Calgary, Canada in 2018, followed by a postdoctoral research in the Integrated Microsystems Research Lab at Princeton University, New Jersey, USA. He has more than 45 publications in international journals and conferences, along with 4 granted patents. So to start off the panel today, we wanted to ask both of you kind of a little bit of a background of just how you got to be where you are. So, for all of our viewers and everyone that's watching, to get a sense of your current profession and what led you to it. So, Shawnee G, maybe you can start kind of what led you to the current career path that you have today.
Sure. Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. And thanks so much for having me here. Um, it's really nice to be able to speak about this because I'm pretty sure most of you, a lot of you can relate to this. I had a pretty normal childhood, but I was just very obsessed about astrophysics at the point. So I was reading a lot of extra course material on what I liked, and I really, really loved science as a kid. And thankfully, I had a supportive household, so they did let me do any number of crazy science experiments at home, or just be by myself and read up stuff. So that's how I got into the whole thing. I always knew I wanted to do science. However, life is not without obstacles, so I did face a lot of them in my career as well. So after school, as Vishnu kindly introduced me, I did my bachelor's in physics, and after that, I went for a master's. But till then, it was quite a smooth sailing. But after that, I did face a lot of trouble getting into the right fit for my PhD program, and I looked at many, many universities. I tried to get into the kind of subject matter that would, like fit my aspirations the best. And so right now, I think I am where I really, really am passionate about. I'm very, very interested to, work in energy sustainability because that's the current need of the hour. And it's not just, say, UK or the US that's facing this kind of energy crisis or disbalance in carbon emissions. It's the talk of the town in every country, literally. So it's there in our everywhere we go, even in India, everywhere else. So I think I think the essence of a good career should be that you make an impact, however small it might be. And I don't know if my research would be just incremental development or whether it will really change the world as everyone aspires to do so. But in whatever way I can, I really want to make a change. I want to make an impact in the energy landscape that is there in the world right now. So yeah, I'm happy where I am, and I hope a lot of you will also want to work in this kind of a sector that really really needs all the best minds and all these young, active, enthusiastic people out here. So yeah, that was my journey, and I think I've really gained a lot out of STEM. So STEM is not just science or technology or engineering or mathematics. It's also about the humanitarian aspect of it all. It's also about uh, feeling it from within. So maybe it sounds a bit philosophical right now, but what I mean to say is science literally pervades everything that we see around us. So it's not just one subject isolated wise. It's also a lot of things intermingled with each other, which includes components from literally everything, every subject you can think of. So I think it's really great, and I'm grateful that I'm part of STEM, and I hope a lot of you will also, join me and many others in this journey. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, Shawnee ji. Tushar?
So, namaste everyone, and thanks for inviting me here today. It has been fantastic working with the Hindu Student Council very closely in past few years. So, my story for STEM is quite interesting because when I was growing up, I was not a very smart kid, like scoring very good marks in class and all. But I used to be very good in my extracurricular activities and always wanted to do something extra out of the coursework or just the regular classroom teaching what we were having in the school. So I joined a club called Space Club, which was mostly it was most like astronomy, like just going out to fancy places like different observatories, clicking pictures of night sky. That started kind of developing my interest in astronomy, and started reading more about physics and different phenomena related to that. However, I think one of the things which impacted me personally a lot was during our school. I remember, I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was Feb first or second when Kalpana Chawla's incident happened for of the space shuttle. And before that, we used to have a lot of events in school where our teachers, our seniors, used to broadcast her videos, and also in the classroom there was a whole buzz about Kalpana Chawla flying into the space. And I remember that there was a big event in India in Nehru Planetarium where they kind of broadcasted the entire event, and we used to go there often. So from there, I started getting a lot of interest into different things about cosmology, astronomy, different fields of astronomy. Started learning about radio astronomy, and to an extent that when I graduated from high school, I had STEM, of course, like physics, maths, English, computer science. But apart from that, I was also an economics student in my high school, and I always wanted to pursue some form of economics. But eventually, I started realizing that I'm really passionate about physics. And when I started my undergrad, I got very much fascinated by radio astronomy. So the reason for that is, how we used to have old grandpa radios. Our grandpa used to have those radios. They used to like hear match all day, like cricket India versus Pakistan game going on, and my grandpa is all day like sitting with that radio with the antenna. Okay, let's go here to catch the signal. So those kind of things were very exciting to understand, like how it is working. And I took a project in first year that I want to develop my own radio, which was a direct convergent receiver. It's like one of the radios which directly converts RF into the baseband signal or give you the audio output. But the objective of this radio was that I was trying to study, because I was physics and student, so I was trying to study solar physics. So my interest came that, okay, I will make a radio through which I can monitor the solar bursts or the solar cycle activities. That's how I got interested in that. And then after my college, I started working with a couple of people who were radio frequency engineers at that time. And I loved it. I developed my own radio. And then in 2010, there was a solar eclipse in Kerala. And I decided that I will go there and I will monitor that how the radio flux changes during eclipse using this instrument. And when I went there, a lot of things happened in my life post that event. I met some very senior professors there. I met students who got connected with me during that time, and then I started a STEM program in their school for high school kids, and today they are part of Stanford and Cornell and CMUs of the world. So it has been very fulfilling experience for me. However, during my course of astronomy, I also started realizing that physics is great, but I wanted to be in a position where I can live in more like a city life and be in more like a world where I can see the application of technology right away. So I shifted my career from basic sciences to mostly into radio frequency engineers, because one of my professor, who was the director of National Council for Radio Astronomy, It has a big telescope, giant meter wave radio telescope in India. He told me that India needs a lot of radio frequency engineers, and the day you design an amplifier which doesn't oscillate and an oscillator which doesn't amplify, I will consider you have become an RF engineer. So since then, my journey has been on that path, and it has been a great experience. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Shoiniji and Tushar Pai. I think both of those career paths are so inspiring to learn about. So, because of the pandemic, it has diminished in person networking opportunities for students looking to gain real world experiences. So, how can students make best of the current situation to build their network and land internships despite the mostly virtual environment we are in today? Shaniji, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much. So, I would say never to the virtual kind of internship. So, I've had the opportunity right now in the last couple of months to guide two interns in my PhD group, and they've been mostly working on some kind of literature reviewing and some kind of simulations which can be done at home. But of course, it varies widely between school and say undergrad level. But for whoever is listening, whoever wants to really land those internships, my one go-to mantra would be to tirelessly email people, because someone or the other will definitely get back to you at some point of time. Just keep annoying them. And okay, so don't annoy them, like they'll kill me if you do. But try to reach out to people who really fit well with your aspirations. And everything is online, so if you really have the will to find out a perfect fit for your kind of work or internship, you'll find 10,000 people in the same field. So make use of these great resources on LinkedIn, on all other websites, and even the university websites, company websites. Reach out to them on whatever channel, whatever platform you can. Ask them, beg for opportunity so that you can prove yourself. And one more thing I would really, really love to emphasize on is that there are a lot of ways to get in touch with people, but it is superbly important to bring something to the table. So why should someone hire you, or why should someone really give you an internship position that's very coveted, that say 500 applicants always apply for? It's because you bring something new, something innovative, something very out of the box that other people might not be. So have an edge. So for example, for a high school student, it might be very tempting to ask for an after school say internship in a company of their choice, or somewhere they aspire to work for after their undergrad. But why are you special? Why should they hire a fresh out of school graduate? So for that, it's not just about the academic skill. It could be any kind of related relevant skills, whether your communication is good, because I see a lot of scientists, a lot of people in STEM who are really brilliant scientists, but they unfortunately lack the necessary skills to communicate their research, to communicate how significant their research is, and how what kind of big impact it is making in the world at a level of say academic level, or even commercial level, international level. They fail to communicate that to the common people who are not in STEM. So I believe a real important part of being an actual scientist is to be able to communicate. So if you are good at communication, you've already mastered, like, I don't know, 40-50% of the field. So with that kind of strengths, with some other skills, for example, some courses that you can always learn on these online MOOC platforms, approach people, email them, try to get in touch with them, and I'm pretty sure you'll end up some kind of virtual internship. Even literature surveys are good because you get to learn a lot from that, and you get to be introduced to topics that you have not previously dealt with or you're not familiar with. And you know always kind of keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's finally what pays off, although it might be a little bit uncomfortable at first. And also, there are so many virtual events. Like, we literally all have Zoom fatigue right now. But I think, i I mean, I don't know if I'm being too optimistic, but the pandemic will be over someday. So till then, just persevere, keep on doing the online stuff, the virtual events. There are so many opportunities where you can actually network even virtually, and there are fabulous softwares that actually use these virtual learning environments where you can, like, using your keyboard, you can walk up to a person and you can ask them what their poster is about in a conference, and so on. So they're really these interesting tools that are being developed now, because they are the need of the hour. So I think there is no shame in trying to get in touch with people, and especially, I'd say, you are always a little bit more worth than what you believe in. So if I would never have applied to Cambridge for a master's right after DU, but it was my mother who pushed me to do that, and thankfully I got in, and now my life is different. So if you aim for company A or say university A, always know that you deserve something higher than that. So it's always A plus plus plus. And so keep aspiring, keep networking with people who are in these places, because I really do believe in this very cliched thing that you have to visualize what you want to be, and only then you can be that person. So yeah, just make your company, make your peer group so encouraging, motivating, that they can actually support your growth. And it's never shameful again to reach out to people in power, to people who can give you even simply do you a favor by responding to your email and giving you some very very small work in their company or under some kind of a reputable banner. And don't be ashamed, no work is small. So whatever work you get, keep sticking to hard work. That's very important. And I think it's quite easy to land something up like that. Hard work always pays off. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
So yeah, I agree with Shawnee pretty much what she said, but I love doing smart work. Of course, I'm not undermining hard work, but I'm a little lazy sometimes. And when you are in high school, you don't want to like work too hard, and that's completely fine.
Agreed.
So for me, I think pandemic was a very interesting experience, and I will give you like 2 3 examples how uh, I use this time in doing a lot of education and outreach work. And one of that is that I started teaching a course in Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, in radio frequency engineering, just because pandemic was there. So online medium of teaching is now allowed and accepted by all the schools across the globe. So it gives you lot of flexibility to talk to people, organize them as a group, and then keep close mentoring of students, right? And second thing, what I have been doing here in San Diego, I'm working with some school students here locally to start the radio clubs in the school. So that is one interesting thing. If students who are in their 11th grade, 12th grade, and later want to apply for undergrad programs, be in any given field, they should start early. So early they start, they get more time for preparation. And one of the objective is to engage students in class 10, 11, to in doing more sort of practical things and setting up clubs which can be mentored by people like me, or I have a big circle of my friends who are interested in these kind of STEM activities. And once it is there, then they are on certain track and they can evaluate themselves, are they really liking it or not. So in that pandemic, that work started, and there are a lot of good opportunities which STEM students can check, like Project Connect, which is actually sponsored by National Science Foundation here in US, which brings school students from all different cities in US to one of the biggest symposiums where people can see the next gen technology, be it 5G, be it machine learning, and so on. So keep looking out for those opportunities and do apply, because a lot of time people don't know, like kids don't know, or their schools are not advertising, so they might not be able to avail those opportunities. So for that, network is very important. You should talk to Vishnupriya, talk to Harsh, talk to Arnav, say, hey, we want to do this, connect us with the people in this domain. And we have a big kind of army of individuals who are ready to support HSC and HSC's work. So don't be shy in approaching us. Whatever we can do to help accelerate your careers, we are always there for it. Thank you.
Thank you both, Tusharji and Shawniji. That's great advice. And I think that's a great lead in to the next topic as well. So our next question to you, for both of you, and again, we'll start with Shawniji. What's one piece of advice that stuck with you, from, and I think we've heard some of that, but, maybe something that stuck with you, until now, and that you would definitely, like, just in general, even give to anyone that's pursuing a similar career path or anything in the STEM fields.
Yeah, so I am originally from the eastern part of the country. I'm from West Bengal, although I'm based in Delhi, family-wise. So we have this very colloquial phrase in Bengali, which means that someone who can do one thing can basically do everything. So that's something my grandparents' generation have always advocated that if you know how to study, I mean, of course, being good at your profession is supreme. It has to be there. So you have to be a good doctor, a good lawyer, a good engineer, whatever you are. But today's world is progressing at such a fast pace. It's very, very easy to be outdated before you know it. So what I always like, I cannot emphasize this enough. It's not enough to be a one dimensional person. So it's not enough to just excel in one thing and not, disregard everything else. So I always really advocate for interdisciplinarity in studying, in growing yourself. So holistic growth is something I really, really believe in. So fortunately, I am part of a family that has always been very culturally inclined. So I come from a family of Kathak dancers and Hindustani vocal singers, and I've always been exposed to these kind of things. So I mean, I'm the first person in the family who's actually going into full time science. So it's not even in my veins at all. So I've always believed in this. Your academics are supremely important. Keep them at your, the first priority, but it's also supremely important to be a lot of other things. And of course, to be a good human being, to be kind, passionate, empathetic, everything is fine, but also to excel at other things. It's supremely important, not just for your college applications, because obviously Ivy Leagues love to see someone who's a straight A student and also, I don't know, a national level sport champion or something. So they love that. People are able to achieve that, but that shouldn't be solely for your application purposes. I feel it might be my personal opinion, but you feel more contented with life. For example, Tushar here is probably the best example in front of you on how you can really balance a lot of things at once and be a very complete person. He is an inspiration for many, including myself, actually. And he's been balancing everything so beautifully. And this is something I aspire to do as well. I want to balance my education along with some outreach, along with my cultural inclinations and everything. And I think at the end, it makes you a more complete person. At the end of the day, you're more satisfied to go to bed like that, knowing that you've done something in the world that has, either given someone else some happiness or given you some satisfaction. I think it's very, very important to focus on more than one thing at a time. And I am not someone who says that multitasking is bad for you and that you can't manage everything together. That is so not true, because you can. And I believe that, again, if you really, really put your efforts into managing your time into everything, I think you'll just at the end of the day be a more just a better person who's totally in charge of their own schedule, their own life, and it just feels better that way. So my advice would be, it's good to study, it's good to do one thing, but don't forget the rest of the things that make you who you are. So I have learned that in my life, and I've seen a lot of other inspirational people doing that. So yeah, that would be my one little bit of advice cookie for you guys. So thank you.
So Shawnee covered everything. Now, my one piece of advice is, I think I strongly believe in this because every individual is different. I can be a very good multitasker, but somebody might not, and I respect that, and we have to respect each other's space. But at the same time, there is a lot to learn from others, right? How Shawnee mentioned about me. I mean, I also get a lot of inspiration from others, and I try to see how these people are like so good in what they do. And given the fact you realize that you are different than others is, I think, one of the most important thing, because copy pasting other stuff or plagiarism, personality plagiarism, right, that's what I call it, won't take you anywhere in life. And that has to be accepted early in age so that you can step out of comfort zone and try to do what interests you the most. And I want to share my example in this because I did an undergrad in a very like average college, like tier 2 tier 3 kind of college in India. I never thought that I will, I will come this far, or I can even be offered position in top institutes in India or in US to teach or to do my research. But things just happens when you believe in yourself and you put 100% in whatever you want to do. You will start seeing the magic. So we are people who believe in the idea of Hinduism. We believe in the idea of Sanatan Dharma, and we should know this thing that what we have learned from our parents and as a community, what we believe in is that you have to give your hard work and 100% and then leave. Don't be attached to the results. So that's what I believe in, and what those things were. I was also born and raised, and my dad always told me, you'd never have to come first in class. I mean, or not even second, not even third. And fortunately, my one of my best friends for 12 years, she was always the first in my class. So I never wanted to compete with her. I'm like, you be the first. I don't care. I don't want to study so much. So but at the same time, be in top 10, but be good and active in other things. Go for school debates, go for extracurriculars, do community service, talk to people, network, volunteer for HSC, do something in your school, start new clubs, start as many as clubs you start in HSC. When you move to college, you can do much more, because now you know exactly how to build an organization, and those kind of learnings are never taught in school. So whatever you will learn working with HSC, when you go to a company, you can literally translate that knowledge and build your own company and startups in future if you want to. So I think those are some things I wanted to share, and that's it from my end.
Thank you, Tushar Pai and Shaoni ji. I think we not only got advice on how to succeed in STEM, but also how to succeed in life. And so thank you so much for taking out the time to join us today and share your thoughts and insights with us.
Thank you, Harsh
Thank
and
you so
Vishnupriya.
very much. Sorry.
And again, if you have, I will highly encourage, if there is some sort of a Google form or something where students, especially high school students or even undergrad students who are looking for specific career mentorship, if we can start a mentorship program around that with HSC, I think we have a lot of students, grad students, PhDs, even young professionals who will be more than happy to contribute in that space.
For sure, yes, absolutely. It's a great platform for this kind of a thing. And also, please free to share our contacts with anyone who might be interested to get in touch and ask for any kind of help whatsoever, and we'll try our best to help them to the best of our abilities. So,
Right.
yeah, and thank you so much again for having us over. It was so nice to talk to you guys.
And we
So,
will add your LinkedIn or any website or anything in the description below.
Sure, perfect. Will be great.
okay, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for joining us today. Happy National STEM Day and namaste.
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 Namaste. Thank you.